All right, let's see here. I see that we're streaming on Twitch and we are streaming on YouTube. Okay, so I'm back from vacation just to go on another quick one for Labor Day, but um, I thought that I would get started with a stream that I mentioned a little bit on my uh, Minecraft first time playthrough for the Ender Dragon. I think it would be cool not only to do some LeetCode programming or anything like that, but to also focus on a specific goal, so to say. So let's say we want to do meta, which is what I'm going to be focusing on. Uh, I think it would be cool to try it out. So, uh, yeah, I think I'll leave that there, and you can see my current profile. I did a little bit spotty here and there, not a whole ton, but yeah, I've solved about 112 questions, a couple medium, a lot of easy. I think I want to start off with doing some easy and work our way up to medium and then hard, just so we can. I heard that the hard is pretty difficult, but start with easy and go up to medium and then go up to hard. Now, I believe I have the format all set up. I can see the stream is properly getting my browser, which is good. So let's jump to problems and see what we got. So let's start filtering. I do have LeetCode Premium. So let's select meta, since we'll try to target that. The status we'll do to do, and then the difficulty we'll start with easy and work our way up. Usually I program. What's this? Oh, this is the one for the week, I think, or the daily code challenge. Strobogrammatic number. Never heard of that before, but 47% acceptance. Let's give it a go. See how we do. So this is kind of. Did I? Wait, did I make? Second, I'm still getting familiar with setting everything up. I want to make sure I didn't just do premium. Okay, cool. So, given a string num. Now, for those of you who aren't as familiar with programming, just you can feel free to listen, follow along, whatever you want to do. I'm just kind of doing like I said, this is all for fun. I'm just doing this for fun. So keep that in mind. You can feel free to follow along. You can feel free to do whatever you want. It's entirely up to you. So I'm going to choose Java. I normally do C sharp, but since our goal is to do meta, I know they do a lot of Java, C++, Python, and JavaScript. So I'm just going to stick with Java. I know all of those languages, but I'm the least familiar with C++. I could do that, but I probably won't. All right, I have no idea what a strobogrammatic number is, so we're going to all learn together. Given a string num which represents an integer, return true if the number is a strobogrammatic number. Okay, please define that. A strobogrammatic number, I hope I'm saying that right, is a number that looks the same when rotated 180 degrees. Oh, that has gotta be confusing. Looked upside down. So basically 69 would return true because when you flip it 180 degrees, the 9 becomes a 6 and the 6 becomes a 9 and you're good. Same with 88, but 962 is not. Boy, oh boy. So let's figure out. So I'm going to be displaying my entire thought process. Whether it's right or wrong, you can yell at me in the chat or in the comments. That doesn't matter. But I want to lay down my entire thought process when I'm doing a question. Now, something else I do know about Meta is that they are fast-paced. And so I think I would like to add a timer for 20 minutes for every question, just to add a little bit of flair, I suppose. A fire under my butt. But yeah, let's go ahead and get that started. So first of all, which numbers look the same when rotated? We have all... Well, that depends, because like 1, if I press 1 right now, this is not going to look the same upside down. But if you consider 1 normally, where it's like just a... like an eye almost, where it's just a line, it is the same. So it just depends on what it means by a strobogrammatic number. Let's add a test case here and say that 10 minutes is fine for the question. Yeah, that's possible. Let's add 111 and we will see if I press... Oh, run is over here. Interesting. I think something changed. Okay. So I'm just going to say return false, run, and we will see. Okay, so it says 1 is not strobogrammatic. So that's interesting. So it does include that little squiggle at the end of the 1 as part of the 180 degree spin. So let's exclude 1, so it will always exclude 1 then. 6 and 9 can be flipped. And 88 is fine, because when you flip 8, it will work. So what I can do here is I can create hash, I believe it's a hash set. No, I think hash set is C#. A hash map of a integer, an internal error banks, integer, and another integer, and we'll say these are the valids, equals a new hash map, and then, and you'll have to excuse my typing occasionally because I'm going from C# to Java, so I might type some C# stuff. But the key, the first one we're going to want to do, so 2 is not going to be ever valid. 3 is not going to ever be valid, neither is 4. 5 and 2 could be valid. Because it just depends on how you look at it. Like, what does... Guys, like, this here, I'm pointing at my screen. So this 2 and this 5 are not similar. But what if it is the digital clock, like an analog clock? Then the 2 and the 5 would be flippable. So let's go ahead and add another test case. Put 2, 5 in there and see what it does. So this is not valid. Goodness gracious. Okay. I guess they're considering this font then? Okay, so 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are all invalid, but 6 can become 9. 7 is not valid. 8 is. 9 can become 6, and then 0 is valid. Okay, so we have our valids. So let's make it. And in fact, I can just say map if I want here, I believe. And we'll say valid.put. And for the first integer, we will do 6. 6 can become 9. And then valid.put 9 can become 6. And then valid.put, and we'll do 8 and 8 because 8 can be flipped and be happy. And then, no. And then 0 can also be flipped and be happy. Okay, I think that covers all of our flippables. So now what we can do is say for I equals 0, I is less than number.length, I believe it is. Yep, I, not back. Come on now. I plus plus. All right, so next up, so what we're going to want to do is for each item, we're going to convert it into an integer. So char doesn't work. We'll just call it C, since this is just a simple program. And we need to cast the current number, char add, I believe it is, yes, of I believe we can say just minus lowercase a, or minus 0, or 0 the farthest end. Oh, crud, it's been a while, so I forgot which one is which. But that should work fine. So we got C. We should have our information. So I'm going to... Oh, wait, I have premium. Oh, that's perfect. I can debug it. I always forget I can debug it. But it should say C. So do I do step over or step? Yeah, step over C. Okay. It's not going to be used because I don't use it. All right, we'll just do system.out.println C. That's fine. Let's run it. Let's see what happens. Okay, 6 and 9, 88, 962, 11, and 25. Perfect. Let's also take a look really quick as to what it can contain. Only digits, so I don't need to check for that. Does not contain any leading zeros except for 0 itself. Perfect. And it can be up to 50 digits. Okay, that should be simple enough. Let's also do first here. So that's the first and then the last. Those aren't entirely appropriate names, but for what we want to get done, this should work. So number.length minus I minus 1, and then after that minus 0. So basically what this should get is the current digit and the final digit on the first loop. On the second digit, it'll get the second digit and the second to last digit. Hello, special El Goblino. Goblino? I don't know. Am I saying that right? Okay, we're at 12 minutes now, so we're doing okay on time if I got this correct. So if valid dot contains key first. So if there is no key here, then just in general, this is going to be false because then it equals a 4, and a 4 is not flippable properly, if that makes sense. So that'll be good. So then valid dot get or default. I believe that's what it will be. So get or default will be first. Then the default value is going to... I don't know if that's going to be good. Value.get. Sorry, valid.get get, yeah, that'll work. First is equal to last. Yeah, I like that. So if the item we're getting does not equal the last item, then return false. Otherwise, everything has checked out and we are true. Good. And in fact, instead of num.length, we can do num.length divided by 2. Let's run this really quick and see what happens. So case 1, we do succeed, which is good. Case 2, case 3, this is false. When the expected... What? Okay. All right, buddy. No, not fine. No, what is my mouse doing? Stop it. Okay. Let's add 1, I guess. I thought that I didn't need to add 1. Let's remove our breakpoint. So 1 and 1. Let's run it. Okay, all of them have succeeded. I don't want to press submit just yet because there's one thing I want to check for. So let's say we have 69, 1, 96. Let's run this. It should succeed. Yep. Good. Wait. It's expected to be false, and it is false. Wait, shouldn't this be true? It should be 96, 1, 69. Okay, we'll submit and see if something's wrong in here. Okay, so we got 39 of 49 passed, which is good. We got the number 2 in here. Okay, so we definitely need to check for that. So we got all our valids. If num.size, it's always going to contain at least 1, is equal to 1, then we will check, actually, it's not num.size, it's num.length. Then we can say return, and we can check if valid.contains key, essentially. Num.character at, it would be 0 minus 0. So if we use this test case and now run it, it should be successful. Yep, good. So that accounts for that. Let's go ahead and try to submit it again. So the problem becomes when it's an odd number. We'll see if it fails. Okay, it does. We're 5 away from completely passing, so that's good. The issue is the number 6. Ooh, that's true. That's true. Because all we're doing is we're just checking for if we contain the key. We're not checking if it's a 6 or a 9. So all we can say here, we'll add braces. And we'll say int c is equal to num.character at 0 minus 0. So if c is equal to 6 or c is equal to 9, then return false. Otherwise, let's try this again, basically. So now, I don't think I need to cast this to an integer. We'll try it without casting to an integer, but if it doesn't work, why are you yelling at me? Oh, it just needs to update. Okay, that does work, and it runs in 0 milliseconds. All right, let's click use test case. This is the last test case we can use. This should be successful, which is perfect. I'm going to close out of a couple test case in case further ones fail. So let's run. Another wrong answer. Okay, 6, 9, and 5. The output is true. Okay, so this is one of the problems I was talking about might happen. We got about 5 minutes to resolve this problem. So the problem here is that 9 and 6 are correct. They can be flipped 180 degrees and it would give the same output. However, since we are only going to half the length of the number, it's not checking for number 5. So what we can do is after this say if num.length percent of 2 is equal to 1 or equals 0, that means that it is a even amount of digits and we can just simply return true here. Otherwise, we need to check if this middle number basically is this. Boom. So now we just all we're checking for. I'm gonna want to fix up here too. So int final check. That's what we'll call it. So we'll say final check equals this. Check, final check, final check, and then copy this down here. Just in case there are issues with similar variable names. It does it in C#. I don't remember if it does it in Java. So this should run it all. Awesome. Let's give it a test. This should be completely successful with all the edge cases and everything like that. It's not. I lied. So let's give this a go over here. So 6. Okay. So given a string num which represents an integer, return true. Looks the same when rotated. Okay. I can see what's wrong with this one. But the problem becomes no longer this is man. Right, because it's not character at 0. We have the wrong answer here. We're saying it's false when it should be true because we're checking character at 0. We don't want character at 0. We want the character at half the length. There we go. Let's give this a run. Hopefully we pass. Well, we passed. We're one of the slower times, but that's okay. We passed it. That's awesome. And we had 2 minutes and 37 seconds to spare. Did pretty good for the first question. I'm pretty happy about that. 17 minutes, 23 seconds, but this is an easy level difficulty. So awesome. We passed that one. It was really slow. It was 117 milliseconds. I'm sure the people here found some way to... Okay, they did it similar there. And they just did one loop. Character at... Check if it contains key. Okay, they did a pretty similar solution. In fact, they might even be able to make it simpler. No, they wouldn't. Looks like they did sliding window. No, they did something pretty similar. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, that's great. We did good. Ignore the 117 milliseconds compared to people that did in 0. I mean, like, what I could do is just copy this and paste it. I'm not about that. I'm just happy to have it completed. What we can do also is go into solutions here. Your last submission beat 100% of submissions runtime. That is completely false. It was beating 0.3%. But we can go into... Oh, where is it? And sometimes, keep in mind, you can submit it one more time and it'll run a little bit better. Like, look at that. It's at 0 milliseconds now. We can beat 100% of people. It's really confusing sometimes. So I keep in mind about that. I guess at 2 pointers at opposite ends with swap the mapped values from the hash set, not the original one. And check would be O n divided by 2. I mean, mine's technically O of n divided by 2. I just have an if at the beginning and an if at the end. Or multiple ifs, but I think mine works pretty well. Well, now I'm at 0 milliseconds. I went from 100, what was it, 112 to 0? Where is it? Is this one? No, it's not that one. It's this one? No, it's not. What? Wait, where did it go? I tell you guys, I confuse myself sometimes. But, alright, sweet. I think that was good for the first one. Let's go ahead and move on to another one. We're only 26 minutes in. Let's go ahead and reset the timer to 20 minutes and see what we can do. Oh joy, we got 2D arrays. Okay, let's do it. Given an array of meeting time... Oh, I didn't press start. Start. Given an array of meeting time intervals where intervals of I equals start I, and I don't know what it means by the I there. Determine if a person could attend all meetings. Interesting. Intervals 0:30, 5:10, 15:20. Where's start and end? This is false. 7, 10, 2, and 4 would be true because you go from 2 to 4 and then 7 to 10. Okay. All right, see ya. Thanks for joining. Determine if a person could attend all meetings. Okay, so let's think about this. What you could do is sort the arrays. So this is basically an array of arrays. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. That's one way to do it. I'm just kind of wondering if there's a better way to do it without needing to sort anything. So we'll see if I do. But yeah. Because you can sort it by start and end. Man, I'm like in my head, I keep thinking that. Oops. Sort ascending to first index. Ascending to first index. Yes, that could work. I wonder what arrays.sort does for this. Like, would it do what we're talking about? I'm kind of curious about that. I'm gonna try it. No one can stop me. Oh, shucks. Okay, it just breaks. Okay. So, let's sort it by ascending. In technical... Okay, so let's also check the constraints really quick. The length within is always going to equal 2, so we don't need a check for that. The start is always going to be lesser than the end, so we don't need a check for that. Good. And the interval's lengths are up to 10 to the 4. Sorts based on the first index, and if the first is the same, based on the second index's value. Yeah, I'm just wondering how I want to sort it. I mean, I could use streaming, but collections. I'm not too familiar with the comparator. Hello. Sort on the, so compare dot comparing. So if we compare, why won't you show me your stuff? Okay. Sometimes I need to look up the comparator information. The interval's length can be 0, keeping that in mind. So let's also just do a check there. Then return true by default. I do play Just Cause 3 sometimes. Usually I only play Just Cause 3 when I don't know what I want to stream next. So let's get started. So this is looping through it, but how do I want to sort it? I mean, what I can do is arrays dot stream intervals, and then I can just say, oh, sorted. Then we do x of 0 to sort by. But this is incredibly slow from what I know. Did I do it wrong? It's not applicable for this. After sort, check second index of predecessor interval is greater than first index of successor interval. If yes, then false. Yeah, that's what I would like to do. I'm just trying to figure out how to sort by the first interval first. Just do to array, but I think I should probably look that up so I can get familiar with it. It would be wise to do so. Okay, so I'm gonna pop this over here and say sort by sort a to the array in Java. I'm aware arrays.sort exists. Overview AI, go away. Sort, and you can create a new comparator. Okay, so let's get familiar with comparators. You have to write a separate class for assorting ascending to first interval, I guess. That could work. I want to get a little bit more familiar with comparators, though, so I'm going to do that really quick. We'll do arrays.sort and then put in intervals. And then we're going to create a new comparator for an integer array. I believe I'm doing this correctly. So let's... Alright, I know it's in the java.util. Comparator. Okay. get the error out of here. Got cheap viewers on streambo.com. Oh, nice. Public int compare. Then we need an the integer array of left, integer array of right. Then we return integer dot compare, and we do left of 0 and right of 0. I think that should work. It's still giving me an issue. Is not applicable for the arguments super T. Well, why not? Is it because I need to type int here? I thought I couldn't put primitives inside of those. If I can, that's awesome. I can? Where did this become a thing? Is this like Java 23? It compiles! Oh! Let's go. Okay. Well, now everything should be sorted. Let's debug really quickly here. Make sure it's sorted. It should have worked. So intervals 0, 5, and 15. Perfect. I think let's do the other test case, which I know is we need 2 and 4 to be first. Do I just skip forward until the next one? How do I run it for the second one? Because this is already in order. Okay, here. Let's just do 15, 20, and then 0, 30 here. It'll end up with the same thing. So that's not what I want to debug. So 15, 5, 0. Wait, what? Oh no, 0, 5, 15. Okay, cool. It did it right. So now we're sorted without needing to create a new class, and I use comparable, which I'm not familiar with. Yay for learning. Now we go through and we check. What was it that you said? Because you are correct. We need to do that. After sort, check the second index of the predecessor interval. If it's greater than the first index, yes, that's correct. We do need to do that. So I think we can do -1 there. And then the first number is equal to the predecessor. So we're essentially just doing intervals of I of 1. That should be fine. Yes, okay, good. And then int second. I'm not going to care too much about names right now. Intervals of I plus 1 of 0. So if the first one, which is the ending one, is greater than the starting time of the next one. So if the end time is greater than the starting time of the next one, then we return false. Otherwise, we return true. Perfect. Okay, let's submit this. See if this works. Hopefully it does. And there we go. We even beat the majority of people. Let's go. I wonder what these guys did. They did a quick sort. Okay, they just did recursion with per quick sort. I mean, that works too. And yeah, this also works. It's pretty similar to what we got. Hey, we did good, and we did it within 12 minutes and 17 seconds. I think. Yes, it says that up here too. Awesome. I think we did good. Yeah, nice. High five to everybody. High five. Oh, that was great. I'm surprised I got this to work. I'm not familiar with comparators, so that was honestly kind of fun. Cool. How far are we in the stream? 40 minutes for 2 questions, man. Well, I did a lot of talking too, so. No, what do we think? You think we can do one more? I think we can do one more. And then I'll call it quits for the day there. Yeah, let's do it. Palindrome permutation. Oh, I suck at permutations. All right, let's do it. So given a string S, return true if a permutation of the string could form a palindrome, which is a string that reads the same forward and backwards. So like race car. Yeah, like right here, race car. Return S. Be given a string S, return true if a permutation of the string could form a palindrome. So if the basically an anagram. Increase the level, like going to normal. To medium? I don't think I'll do medium today. I'll keep it on easy for now. But yeah, I'd like to go to medium probably in the next stream. I haven't completed too many mediums. Yeah, they're definitely harder. But AAB, because ABA could be correct, but code could never be correct. Well, that's going to be interesting. Since it's a Boolean, I do know. I should probably reset this timer. But I do know. Man, I'm not too good with permutations. I'm good with palindromes, but not permutations. I mean, like the brute force to this is pretty easy. Wouldn't you be able... Oh, man. Wouldn't you be able to just sort all the characters and then count them? You know, that sounds a little weird, but wouldn't you be able to do that? Because if you sort them and there's 2 of everything, or 4 of everything, like an even number of everything, apart from if it was an odd number, then wouldn't you be able to find out if it's a palindrome? I mean, let's take a look at the hints. Consider generate all permutation by backtracking and check for palindrome. What do you mean by that? Even length. Count the frequency of each character. Yeah, that's what I was suggesting. Count the frequency of each character. And then if each character occurs even number of times, then it must be a palindrome. How about a character which occurs odd number of times? Yeah, that's what I was saying in my thoughts in my head. Was if there's an even number of characters, then it should work. So if we have a hash, I'm going to try that first. So a hash map of, we'll just do integers. No, we'll do characters. Character and then an integer. No, oh, I can do primitives now. Oh, that's going to change so much. It's like, I don't know what version they changed Java to be able to have primitives, but I would gladly take it. Is this not allowed? Syntax error. Insert dimensions to complete type art. I don't know what that means, but okay. We'll do frequency is equal to a new hash map. Does that work? Okay. No! Why are you angry? No, do I have to type it out? Does it only work for certain things? I think it only works for certain things. Oh, shit. Yeah, it only... That's too bad. We'll do a hash map of the characters and integers. So we're going to say for int 0. We'll just go through everything once. I'll just make something sloppy really quick. And we will say if frequency... I'm probably going to need frequencies. So if frequency.get default for even string, every character frequency must be even, but for odd string, one character frequency it must be odd. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm going to try to do, but I want to map out all of the frequencies. So how about this? If frequency dot contains key, and then we got s dot character at I. We'll also say char c equals s dot character at I. I don't want to type that out every single time. So if it does contain the key, then we'll say frequency dot set. Would it be set dot? What would it be? Replace. Okay, replace C with frequency.get of C plus plus. That works, right? What's wrong here? Okay, how about +1? Okay, that makes it happy. Oh, right, because plus plus would set it, and this is a method. Right. That was my bad. So if it contains the key, then do that. And then we will also continue. That is not how you spell continue. Otherwise, we will say frequency.put the character, and we'll say 1 here. Which question am I doing? We are on question 266, palindrome permutation. It's an easy question. And, oh, it sounds like my wife just got home. So now we have every frequency, which is what we want. And so we can say if the string's length is equal to, mod 2 is equal to 0. So if it's even, then we can just check. No, I didn't do today's contest. Is less than s.length, or not s.length, frequency. Why did you do that? Dot size, I++. Then we'll say if the frequency, if we're getting the one, we could do a for each loop here, couldn't we? Let's do character C in frequency. No, it won't be character C. It would be integer occurrence. That works. What's wrong with you? Can only iterate over an array or an instance of iterable. This isn't iterable? Why? Is a hash map iterable? Why? Just compare from last and start to point to pointer, I guess. I mean, all I really have to do is go through the hash map and check if everything is even. I figure that would be fine. Listen, we'll just do normal. One, so frequency dot at. What in the world is it in order to get something at the frequency? Is it just the character? We'll do frequency dot key set, I suppose. Not size. If frequency dot get no, that'd be too slow. Just compare from the last and start to pointer, I guess. Unfortunately, I don't think we can do that. Because this is a permutation. This is care rack, care race, rather than race car, and so I can't just check from forward to back. It could be an anagram of it essentially, and so I need to be able to verify all of that. How do I do this in Java? I know exactly how to do this. It says, yes, it is a premium question. It says premium right on it there. Sorry about that. So for how do I check that? What in the world? Let's see. Is it set key set? It's a set of characters. Okay, so set. That's probably why I can't get the index of it. Keys is equal to frequency dot key set. That way it's cached. Then for char c in keys. That'll be happy now. So now we can say if frequency dot get c is or mod of 2 is equal to 1, then we return false. Reason being is because the palindrome is also even, and so if there's any odds, then it is false. Otherwise, if all of those checks pass, then it returns true. Now under here is for any odd number question or odd number test cases. In fact, I can move this up 1 so that it's for both uses. And let's see here. So Boolean has single is false. So has single is just going to be my Boolean check to see if there is at least a number, a singular odd number. Okay. So if, not if, for character C in keys, and then we say if frequency dot get C mod 2 equals 1, that means we have a odd number. So now we have if has single, then we're going to return false, because then we know there are multiple odd numbers. I am from like country or state. I'm in Michigan, or the United States. Has single equals true. And then yes, I do software engineer for a living. Otherwise, if all of that succeeds, we return true. I don't know, let's give this a run, see what happens. All three of our cases succeed. I'm sure there's going to be at least one failure. Yeah, no problem. Um, let's submit. No, I passed all of them. Oh, let's go. Yeah, and we beat the majority of people with 6 minutes and 47 seconds to spare. We did it. Let's run it one more time and see if we can get 0 milliseconds. No. Okay. Awesome. That's great. Let's see what people did here. See if there's anything we can learn from it. Oh wow, that's a lot more simple than what I have. Yeah, we'll just say that I don't need this. Wait, what is this? I didn't use that. Let's run it again. Okay, cool. As odd equals false. A 26 integer array. Yeah, that would work too. I don't even need a hash map for that. Oh, that would have worked even better. I totally forgot you could do that. So what that problem is doing is saying there's an integer array frequency is equal to new integer array of 26 letters, because one of the constraints is it only contains lowercase English letters. And so we know that there's 26 letters. And so in here, instead of doing this whole complicated thing, all you would need to do is say frequency at the character that you're currently at. Yes, when we have characters, just use array 26. Yeah, exactly. I totally forgot that was a thing. But yeah, so, and then you subtract the character A from it. And then you just add one. And boom, you got rid of everything. Like, I totally forgot that existed. And now it's a single line. And so now I don't need all this character set. I don't need... You're a Java hater. Yeah. Normally I use C#, but what I'm trying to do with this series is to kind of target meta-based questions, and they don't usually do C# in their interviews. So we're going with Java since that's decently close to the syntax of C#. Otherwise, the other options were Python, JavaScript, or C++. Unfortunately, I don't have too much professional experience with C++. I have a lot more in Java and C#, so I just went with Java. Let's see. So let's fix this up now. We'll go through all... Oops, caps lock's on. 0 I is less than frequency.length. I can do that instead now. I++. So now we can say if frequency of I mod 2 equals 1, return false. See, this is way, 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 way simpler. I love this solution a lot more. So I'm going to stick with this solution. For I, 0 I is less than frequency. No, frequency dot length I++. If frequency dot get, not get class, dot get, oh no, it's not dot get, it's of I mod 2 is equal to 1, if has single, return false. Java is the best. Oh no, we're gonna get a war in the chat. I do like C++. I wish I had more professional experience with it, but yeah, this should be fine. Okay, let's give this a run. This should work. Yep. Let's submit. And there we go, 0 milliseconds. Awesome. And we beat the majority of people in memory. So I'm not going to worry too much about this, but there was obviously a better way of doing it. I just totally forgot that you could do this. And so I wanted to change that so that it fit it. I think that's the last question I'm going to do for today. I'm going to stop streaming there. We've been going for an hour. Speaking no, that's for the previous solution. I'm glad we were able to figure out all three questions in within the timer too. Maybe next time we can bump the timer up to 30 minutes and do some normal level difficulty. But yeah, to those of you who stuck around, integer a equals 300. Yeah. I'm pretty sure the answer is false because when you use integer, you are using the class type integer rather than primitive type, so it's going to compare the references rather than the value types. And what if it's 100 and 100? What will the answer be? I'm pretty sure it's still false because of references versus value types. If you're talking about in Java, at the very least. If you make it int A, int B, then it would be true because it's going to compare the two values instead. Awesome. So I think I'm going to end the stream there. Thank you guys for watching. If obviously if you liked, then feel free to subscribe, leave a like. I'm going to try to do this every day. I don't know what the upcoming days. Why is it true if it's 100? Wait, what? Because I know that there's a difference. It's true with 100. I'm going to have to test that out. See if that's true or not. That sounds interestingly weird. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there. In the next coming days, I'm not going to be at home. I'm going to be on vacation for Labor Day, so we'll see if I do a stream or not. I'll do my best, but I might not be able to. Try now live. Okay, let's do it. Just real quick, and then I'll close the stream. Integer a equals 300. B equals 300. A equals B. Let's give that a run. Down here, yeah, std out is false. That one is like I thought because no, it's not value of dot int value. Okay, let's do 100. Run it. Oh, that's interesting. It is true. Interesting. I'll have to look up why it does that. Why is 100 true in Java for integers, but 300 is false when compare? In Java, when comparing the operator, the behavior for values within the range of a byte differs from value. That's interesting due to integer caching. That is interesting. Okay, I never knew that. That is cool information to know. And potentially useful. So anything within the value of a byte. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Well, thank you for that. That was actually kind of cool knowledge. But yep, I'm gonna head off. Talk to you guys later. Yeah, thanks for watching.